Hi, this is Mr. Brown. This podcast is for CNT140. We're going to talk a little bit about our bid spec and doing the next piece of our bid spec. Just to remember, content page, there is a section of the bid spec that has a whole bunch of notes, general files, bid spec notes that are turning on, equipment sources, etc. Make sure you're using that. We're now focusing on the last time we were working on our bid spec, we were working on our catchment area. So we created a spreadsheet that allowed us to start recording our rooms, their uses, our measured distance on the map, and then all of our formulas over here calculated how much cable each room would need. And the end result should be a total down here for cabling, in this case, this wing. And I tried to get you to lay it out where we would do a chart here for this wing, or this wiring closet, if you will, and then we could copy paste this whole piece here, copy paste it, move it down to do the next wing or the next closet, copy paste down, do the next wing or the next closet. That's going to allow you to organize your stuff, and when we start laying out our equipment that we're going to put in our closets, we now can do port counts and say, well, 80 ports, I need 80 patch panel ports, so I need X number of patch panels in the closet, etc. That's going to make figuring out some of our equipment later, at a later date, a little easier. So this is what we did last time on our bid spec cable estimation, if you will. What we want to start today is our cost sheet, or our equipment cost sheet, for keeping track of all of our equipment that we need to order for our bid spec. So first thing we want to do is, I should say the easiest thing to do is keep all of our stuff on our spreadsheet just in one file. So I'm just going to come down here and create a new tab. I will name this tab right off the bat. If I double click on it, I can name this cost sheet or something to the effect, or equipment cost sheet or something along that line. For viewing's sake, I'm just going to zoom in on this to make it a little easier for you guys to see. Let's do 150 right off the bat. I'll put a title up here, CNT140 bid spec spreadsheet, that sort of thing. Okay. Now, on an equipment list or equipment cost sheet, what I usually like to do is have a couple specific pieces of info. So I'm going to start off with maybe our item that we're going to use, or item that we're going to order. I'll go to the next line and do, or next column and do model number. I always include model number. A lot of times when you're preparing equipment lists, you spec out gear and you might not actually purchase it for a couple months. Sometimes for budget reasons, it might be an entire year till you purchase it. So it's always handy to have the model number to come back at a later day and look it up, look at prices that have changed, etc. So item, model number. I'll probably also include something here about unit cost for the item, quantity of that item, quantity of these that I'm going to be purchasing, and then maybe a total cost column here, because if I'm getting 10 of these or 20 of these or whatever. And then out here in the end, I always want to put links or sources for my info. That way I can come back at a later date and review if any prices or anything have changed. So I'm going to highlight that row, I'm going to bold it, I'll put them all center. I think I might even do a word wrap on this, so I'll do a format my cells, bring up the option to wrap my text, and now I can start adjusting my columns. So my item, I might make that a rather large column because I'm going to put items here about Cat 5, blah, blah, blah. Model number should be good enough. Unit cost should be good enough. Quantity, total cost. Out here, I'll probably make my links and sources a little bit larger. Something like that I'll probably do. What I'm probably going to do now is do something like this and say, oh, actually, I'm going to inject or insert a little column here. So I'm going to control click and I'm going to insert column. And I'm going to put over here area or something to that effect. That way this will allow me to say any stuff here, on this part of my spreadsheet is for my horizontal cabling or something of that nature, horizontal cable. So I'll do a wrap text on this guy too. We'll do format, cell, and we'll wrap the text on that one as well. There we go. Now if I have a couple line items here for horizontal cable, those items can be grouped together, and later on down here, probably one of the next things we'll have is the work area outlet stuff. or carry outlet. And then later on we'll have things like our closet equipment. So this will allow me to kind of group some of my gear together. Closet equipment. And now I can have a couple lines for that particular area of my plan. There we go. That sounds like a pretty good layout. Now, what I'm going to need to do is go find one of my first items. So I'm going to quick save this. And one of the first items I want to add on here is my horizontal cable, the actual bulk cable that I'm going to get for my plan. So I'm going to pull my browser up. And on the bid spec page, I do have lots of equipment sources down here, links. I'm just going to pull one of these up. I'm actually going to use Cable Organizer. I've ordered a bunch of equipment from them already in the past, and so far they usually have it or their prices are decent or whatever. So I'm going to pull them out, and I'm going to look for their cables, and I'm really looking for the bulk cable. I'm not looking for patch cables. So I'm going to go to their network cable, and in here I'm going to look for probably category 6 cable. So I'll go to category 6, and then I want to scroll down to where I see the bulk cable. So I'll scroll down towards the bottom down here, and I'll see category 6. Here's even category 6 down here. Category 6. And should have twisted pair of bulk cable. There we go. So I could shop around and look for some prices, or in this case, I can just pick one for our example. So I'll pick this one, black box, category 6, 4-pair and shield twisted pair. And then I will see in here that it's grouped by PVC or plenum. So now I can pick out my plenum cable, 1,000-foot spool of this, and here's my model number. So I can say, okay, I want to use the blue cable, and then here would be my description. I'm going to say GigaTrue Plus category 6 bulk cable plenum. I'll just steal that little label there, go back to my spreadsheet, put that in my description here. Boom. Then I can put my model number. I'll go back to there and grab the model number off, because again, if I have to come back to this at a later date, I'll have the model number to look it up. Back to my spreadsheet. This looks like this will be a long one, so I might need to widen this column a little bit, so I'll give it a little room. And I'm probably going to even put blue back here to remind me this is blue cable, just in case I were trying to color code anything on my plan. There we go. I'll grab the unit cost of that guy. So I'm going to go back to here. He happens to be $518. That's fine. That's what we're going to use right now. $518. Now I probably want to format this column to show dollars, so I will highlight that, and I will Control-click to format my cell. So I'll format. Up here where it says number, I'll do currency, and I could set the specs on that. So it's going to show dollars. Quantity, well, this is where I'll get the quantity of that from my earlier spreadsheet. So I can come back to my cable estimation and say, well, for this wing, 11,000 feet of cable, I need at least 11 boxes. So I'm going to put 12, round up. I'll need at least 12 boxes for this particular wing, so I'll put a quantity of 12 there. And then over here for total cost, I want to do a formula that says the total cost of this is going to equal whatever's in this column, unit cost, asterisk for multiply, times this column. So those two cells, if you will. That cell will multiply by that cell to give me my total cost, and I'll hit the enter key. And that'll give me my total cost. Again, let's highlight this column, Control-click, format my cells, and I will do currency. There we are. And that'll show me the currency, the total of ordering that particular item. So there's my cable, there's my model number, unit cost, quantity, total cost. The only thing left out here would be to put a link for this so I could come back at a later date. So what I can do one of two things. I can actually copy paste this link if I want, or I could just indicate the supplier I want to, because I have the model number for that. I'll just paste the link in there. But that'll allow me to come back to that at a later date if I need to look at updated prices or changes in prices or whatever. So there is a good start at my cost sheet. And then later on, as I have more gear, I can literally just come in here and add these items to my cost sheet or my plan. There you go. Just a reminder on this, as we're doing our plan, I'm not looking for you to shop around for the best price. You can do that if you want. I'm more looking at thorough. So as we look at that price, we probably could shop around and get a better price, or we could probably call the supplier and say, "Hey, what's your best price? I'm going to order 50 of these. What's your best price?" We don't have to do that for this plan. We're just looking at thorough, but in real life, you probably would want to shop around for a better price than that. So there is beginning of starting my cost sheet for my bid spec.